Hey guys, it's Gonzo. I'm on this little stream today, looking down there, up this way. I got another little stream that runs in right there. Here's my bank. It's really steep along here, all the way. I got a bunch of big deadheads around here, and lots of small brush and stuff. So the bank is all undercut and stuff, and there's branches everywhere. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys a pocket set that I use for mink. The other side isn't that steep, if you see that. Mink are going to run both sides, so I'm going to make two sets here. I'm going to show you exactly what I would do in both of them. I haven't did a lot of mink trapping in 20 years. You know, I catch a few every year, but the best year I probably ever had was back in high school when I caught 12 or 14, and that was on a 2 to 3 mile, probably a 2.5 mile stretch of the Presque River. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys my pocket set right here. Why I'm going to set it here is, like I said, we got all these deadheads and stuff, and all these roots. These mink are going to be in and out. They're going to be all over here, in the water, out of the water, in the water, out of the water. So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to dig a hole set, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to use and why this is a great set. A lot of times you'll get raccoons to mess with your sets. I use a little, here's my lure. You can't see the thing on it anymore, but it's mink. This is Lenons. I prefer Lenons. I'll use Grawes too, but I like Lenons Lure. It's getting hard to get because you got to order it directly from them. It's not wholesale anymore. Anyways, right here, my trap of choice is going to be a #1 Duke, or #1.5 Duke. And if I catch a mink here at the same time, or a raccoon, the raccoon's going to get tangled up in here somewhere. The mink is going to drown right away because he's going to go out this way and fall down. You can see some big boulders out here. The mink will go on that. That's another reason why I picked this set, because mink like to swim and go out on rocks. You'll see there's all kinds of minnows out here. I don't know if you can see the minnow. Anyways, lots of minnows. Right over where that creek was, I jumped 3 little frogs. There's a toad, if you look way over that way. There's a toad right here. There's plenty of bait around here for the mink. They're going to be here all the time. I got a coniber there. I'm going to set the coniber on the other side. Here's a railroad plate that I'm going to use. I'm going to show you how I tie it on with my trap. So let me get this on my head. And I hope I get all this good for you guys. I'm going to pick this spot right here and just dig yourself, just undercut it where the mink can only get to one place. You don't want them to come in from the top. If they can come in on the top, they're going to steal your bait every time. And normally I would have gloves on, but the water, everything's so warm. This mink is going to come around here, and he's going to know that there's bait back in there because he's going to smell either my lure or he's going to see my minnows. I use minnows anywhere from 4 to 7, 8 inches long. You can use perch, bluegills, whatever you prefer. The only thing about trapping a spot like this is the water goes up and down in the fall time. You know, I want my trap underneath the water about 1.5 inches. Right back here is where I'm going to stick my minnows. I don't want that underwater. And when you put your minnows in there, stick them so the eyes are facing out at you. Don't stick them in that way. Stick them in backwards. I've got all my traps. They're loaded with their cable. I got a double ferrule back here. I got a double ferrule here. But see how it slides? Come on. It'll slide. I can make it smaller, bigger. I take my railroad plate here, I put it through. I'm going to make the hole bigger now. Look what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys can see this. Make it bigger. plenty big enough like that. I'm going to pick my trap up and bring my trap through the hole, and I'm going to pull it tight. There we go. Now my trap's on the stake. I'm going to put my railroad plate right down in front of me, because the mink gets in it, he's going to drown right away anyways, and 9 times out of 10 this is going to be a front foot catch. My trap's under the water, probably maybe a ½ inch. You know, you can see where my trap is right here. You know, it's set nice and level. It ain't gonna bounce around anywhere. I'm gonna grab my Mink Lure, you know, and I'll show you. This is what I do with my jars. That stick right there, doesn't matter where it is. There's Mink Lure on the bottom of there. That's all they need to smell coming along here. Oh, look at that, there's a fishing lure right there. Anyway, somebody got a snag with this big blowdown. But with this Mink Lure, you know, I might grab it and just stick it on a couple different things along here. You know, so there's scent around. When that mink is in and out of the water, in and out of these stumps, they're on shore just as much as land. They get caught in that trap, they're going to shoot out this way. It's probably going to drown right down here where my foot is, in a foot of water. Or I'm up to my knees here, so I'm probably in almost 1.5 to 2 feet of water. That mink ain't going anywhere. My minnows are going to be right back in this pocket here, facing out. That mink jumps down here, bang, he's done. Alright, I'm going to shut the camera off, and then I'm going to get you guys to another set. Peace. Alright guys, I picked in this spot. I want it to look as natural as possible. All I am is on the other side of the creek. I set that other trap over there. You try and set 4 or 5 traps if you got enough for mink, or 2 or 3, whatever, in the same area. But right here I'm going to make a coniber set, and I'm going to use some grass. I'm going to make it so it looks like a little hole, or a cubby or pocket set, I guess. I'd say more or less. This is where I want the mink to come in at, because it's shallow here. He's going to be all over in the rocks, in and out of the water again, swerving around here. And this is where we want him to come in at. So I'm going to shut the camera down. I'm going to build some rocks up for my coniber to put there, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Peace. This one's for you, Garrett. You're the one that wanted to see something like this. We got it. Alright guys, I'm done with another version of this pocket set. I guess it's not as much as a blind set, Garrett, as you wanted. But when you find a blind set, you just have to know to set there, you know, like the bottom edge set, or you just look like little pockets or trails, you know. You put a set there, you cover it with, you know, whatever you got. Like I got a lot of grass right here. Anyways, all I did is put some rocks together. There's grass everywhere. They don't know if this grass is growing over there. And I made it just big enough that they can't get in the back or anywhere. You can see my conibers in there, right there, and it's set. I got a nice flat rock on the bottom. There's one way in, one way out. You know, you put some grass there. They don't know. These mink are coming along the bank here. They say, oh, there's a little hole. Is there a crayfish in there or something? Anyways, I'm going to show you what I got just making this set. Here's a crayfish. Ouch! Anyways, there's a bigger one. And then these 2 little itty bitty guys, you know. I don't know if that's a mama or what, but there was 2 of them. That's what they look like underwater. That's what those mink are coming through here. They're looking for frogs. They're looking for crayfish. They're looking for anything that they can find to eat right now. And here's my line out to my railroad plate. I'd highly suggest if you could get railroad plates, use them for bait, do it. And look what else we got close to shore here. There's crayfish and minnows all over in here. So they're hungry, they're on the edge. Just this thing's going to get caught. All I'm going to do is put a little lure right up here on top. I ain't even going to put anything in that hole. I don't need no minnow in there. In a set like this, the mink is going to go in there because he sees a hole, and it's just natural for him to check it out. Anyways, that's it. Oh, look at this little guy. There's baby crayfish all over in here. I hope this set was alright, guys. Lots of bait. Anyways, let me know what you think. Back in high school, it worked really well for me. This year, I'm going to trap mink a little bit more. I'm going to downsize on my line. So, until next time, peace out. Peace, Chucky. Donzo out. Just want to show you guys some more bait. So we got minnows back there, we got crayfish, we had that toad. Here's a couple frogs I was telling you about by this little feeder creek. There's one. There's another one's head sticking out there. There's another one over there. I mean, we got bait all over in here. There's a little toad hopping. Just seen about a 13, 14-inch brookie come swimming behind me into this shade. I got 2 cameras out right now. I'm going to go check, see if I got any pictures of coyotes or fox. Anything digging into made a couple dirt holes Thursday. And if I do, I'll try and figure out how to put the pictures in this video. Peace.